I remember saying, like, I don't need to learn open chords. I just don't need them. I never use them. Looking back at me learning guitar, there's quite some things I wish I did differently. In this video I'll share my biggest regrets so you won't have to feel bad when you look back in 20 years. Number 1. Maybe this is the easiest part of learning guitar, but back in the day I didn't do it. Or I didn't do it enough. It's learn the classics and popular cover songs. There's a few reasons why it's pretty much essential for every guitarist. It'll help you build a large repertoire whenever you need it, and this will come in handy more times than you think. By that campfire, being a sideman for those cover gigs, trying to win over the heart of your future partner. Bursting into a 2-minute shred hoping they'll be impressed doesn't work. I've been there. But also, and maybe even more important, learning guitar by just learning songs is highly effective and one of the easiest ways to make progress and quickly develop the essentials of the guitar. So even if you think you are somehow above these popular songs, I really suggest you learn them because they might be more fun to play than you think. Which leads me to point number 2, regret number 2. And oh boy, I'm so ashamed looking back at myself. In the first 5 years or so, I learned almost everything by tab. Yeah, I know, it's pretty bad. This gave me so many disadvantages in my career and my ambitions, and I had to put in so much effort to fix that. My ears were just underdeveloped, so that things like just picking up things by ear was pretty hard for me the first year in the conservatory. Luckily I started doing it way more, which brought my level up quite a bit, but if I started doing it earlier, God knows what a master I would have become right now. That goes to show it's never too late to start figuring songs out by ear. You can only get better. And really, if one skill makes you a better musician, it's getting that ear working properly. Oh, and sometimes tabs just suck. Even the high-rated tabs can have big mistakes. Nowadays, I always trust my ears more than the tab. And here's number 3. Playing songs with just a singer. I started playing in a band almost from the moment I had a guitar. So the first 5 years or so, I didn't really care about keeping time. I just followed the bass player and the drummer. But man, starting to play smaller gigs with sometimes just me and a singer, I noticed I was rushing like a madman. Really, like I just wanted to get home before dark. It was nuts. Hearing back some of those recordings made me feel pretty bad about myself. It was at the time that I started to realize I need to work on my timing quite a bit, or maybe even establish a timing instead of leaning on other people. Surely this also works if you just sing by yourself, but if not, like me, I can't sing. Make sure you do it, and even combine it with number 2 maybe. Play a set of classics with just guitar and vocals. That could be fun, right? Number 4. Get to the roots of the guitar. Oh, and this is great, and I hate myself for it, because when I was learning guitar, I just played Metallica. That's it. It's a bit exaggerated, of course. I also played Iron Maiden and Blink-182. But the idea is this: I never learned the blues. I never played funk. I never played soul. So after 5 years of playing, I don't think I ever played anything other than just riffs, power chords, and the occasional solo. I remember saying, I don't need to learn open chords. I don't need it. Oh God, was I really that terrible? I guess I was. But is it really bad then? I really do think so. Learning music starts with knowing what it is and knowing what you hear. Even better, just start listening to it. The playing can come later. Explore the guitar as an instrument. A lot of different guitar techniques are used in these different genres. Also, many popular music from the last few decades has their roots lying in the blues. And all the good rock licks, it's just the blues. A lot of features from pop music from the blues. So even if you're not that interested in the music itself, maybe just spend 10-15% of your practice time to just listening to some old blues, some soul, some Motown classics, and try to jam along. Figure out some licks, check out those chords, and get to know the sound and the feel of it. It makes everything you do easier. Next up. The guitar is famous for being an untransparent instrument. No wonder theory is so difficult for a lot of aspiring guitarists. And it's 2 things. 1, you can sound good without knowing any theory. And 2, it's hard to project music theory onto the neck of the guitar because of the way it's laid out. So this is regret number 5. Not learning piano.
It's a guitar video?
Yeah, let me explain. On the piano, it's so much easier to visualize how music works. It's the perfect vehicle to learn a whole bunch of interesting concepts that will translate perfectly to the guitar once you understand it. And believe me, the more broadly educated you are as a musician, the easier you pick up things later on. So get a crappy stage piano, try to learn the basics, and I'm sure creating that link between the guitar and the piano can blow your mind. Back to the guitar, sort of. Well, yeah, back to the guitar. I used to play with the metronome quite a bit back in the day. But to be honest, I didn't know I did it completely wrong. Like, I pretty much only used the metronome to make sure I played this exercise faster than the previous time, as a sort of measuring device. I need to play that Jump Tucci Rock Discipline lick faster than 180 BPM before tomorrow. And to be honest, that's not really the purpose of a metronome. Regret number 6. Just seeing the metronome as a race. The faster, the better. What I wish I would have done is more just playing a steady strumming pattern to a click, or learning that guitar solo played to a click, or just practicing really focusing on the transition between 8th notes to triplets or to 16th notes, for example, or getting that groove super tight to a click. And that's where practicing with a metronome really shines. Developing timing and groove, and not as a measuring device for how fast you can play. Here's number 7. Go to jam sessions. Music is a thing that wants to be shared. Music is also a thing that becomes better when you work together. And when you find people that are in the same mindset, in the same boat as you. Learning guitar is so much easier when you've got some friends that are in the same boat. Finding these like-minded folks is easy to do at a local jam session. They are everywhere, so it shouldn't be that hard to find. I regret not doing it enough back in the day when I was learning. It helps you in so many ways. Getting used to playing on stage without too much pressure. It's just a jam. This attitude can change depending on the kind of session though. There's quite some snobby sessions too. Playing together, locking in with the other band members. Find friends that want the same as you. Get better at guitar. And maybe even more important, next time you go, you want to nail that solo. Or you want to have more stuff to play over these chords. So you better start practicing. For me, if I have something specific to practice for, a gig, a video, a session, I do it with 4 times more dedication. And that's the moment when things get done. Next up, solfege, solfege, solfege?
Solfege.
Solfege. When you're serious about getting good, I seriously advise everyone to include some singing into their practice routine. Do 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 do. Even if you suck at singing, like your boy Pauly D over here. Being able to somewhat accurately sing a major interval or a major scale or any interval of choice is so useful for many reasons. It helps you understand note relations, reproduce them, identify them, but maybe the best thing, internalize it. Which is like, you can visualize something, right? You can visualize how a banana looks. That's pretty handy. The same goes for music. Imagining how it sounds without actually hearing it, that's a very powerful tool. You can grasp things much faster and easier, so just do it. Sing those scales, sing those intervals, and have no shame in doing it. Oh, one more thing. I love the guitar, but sometimes I need my mind to take a break from this all. My mind needs rest too, you know. And this is where Audible comes in. Thanks for sponsoring this video. They have a great app that lets you pick from an unmatched selection of audiobooks, original audio shows, news and comedy. If you need to unwind, laugh, or you're eager to gather knowledge, this is the place to go. I enjoy listening to a book when I'm driving home from a show, just to wind down and get some of the adrenaline out of my system. I recently enjoyed Kafka on the Shore by Haruki Murakami. If you enjoy getting lost in a mysterious world, that's really my recommendation. If you're not that much into fiction, they have a bunch of comedy shows and self-development books that are really great. Sometimes I even catch myself playing the guitar whilst listening to a comedy show. Go to www.audible.com/pauldavids or text Paul Davids to 500 and start listening with an exclusive 30-day free trial and 1 free audiobook of your choice, and 2 Audible originals from an ever-changing list. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Cheers. Solfege.